Okie dokie. So we're back. Hello. And we're going to see what else we can do to this chap. Now then. He's looking rather dapper. Another delicious word. I have several words that I find delicious. My father's favourite word was indubitably. I'm not sure he knew what it meant, but he certainly enjoyed saying it. I'm not sure I know what it means either, but there we go. But then again, there's lots I don't know. Yeah, it's true. And there's a fair few people out there that would actually agree with that statement. But that's fine. Because I always remember there was, I think it was David Niven, the actor. And he did a couple of books about his life. The first being, I think it was called The Will to Balloon. And I think the second book that he wrote about his life was called Bring On the Empty Horses. Now, that referred to the film The Charge of the Light Brigade, which Niven was in, along with the likes of, I think it was Trevor Howard was in it. Errol Flynn was in it, and it was the ill-fated charge, the cavalry charge. I want to say Balaclava, but that may not be right. But anyway, somebody shouted out an order, and they all galloped off to their death. One of the biggest wartime catastrophes ever, apparently. I think all warfare is a catastrophe, to be honest with you. Anyway, they had a director, and I can't actually, for the life of me, remember his name. But I think he was Eastern European. And he had quite an accent. And his grasp of English wasn't all that it could have been. And when they shot the thing, obviously they protected the animals, and they used to say after, bring on the empty horses. And these were the horses that obviously had riders on and then didn't. Because they obviously weren't going to fire cannons at real people on horses. I mean, come on, people, get real with the plan here. Anyway, what actually happened was that David Niven and Errol Flynn in particular would mimic this director and make fun of him. And on one occasion, he overheard them. And he actually said to them, you think I know bugger nothing. He said, in actual fact, I know bugger all. There you are, you see, that's what the English language can do to you. But, well, perhaps it's not as funny as I thought it was, but I thought it was a funny story. Anyway, now we're going to put some square checks on this waistcoat, because we don't like, it's a bit too bland, just the yellow there. And we're trying to give this a bit of character, this picture now. and I must move on a bit faster because I tended to slow up a bit in my old age. Here we are. Not that I'm actually that old. There we go. Now that's looking there. See what a difference a bit of a stripe makes, or a check even. Now we're going to put a different shade of green on here. Let's try this. What's this look like? Yeah, I think that'll do. Nice lighter green. Because we got a two-tone jacket. We like that two-tone jacket. I actually made a jacket that was two-tone once, but I never wore it because it seemed to be a very good idea at the time. But when I finished it, I thought, oh dear, I'm not going to wear that. I did have some standards. According to my mother and father, I didn't when I was younger. Some of the fashion choices would not have been theirs, put it that way. But then I think that's always the case, don't you? I think it is, because I've got to that age now where sometimes I find myself, and I have to stop it because it's awful, and I suddenly start thinking to myself, look at the state of his hair, and things like that. That's dreadful. And of course, some of the music, oh, and I think, goodness me, I'm sounding just like my dad did in the early 70s when we started listening to bands like Black Sabbath, Deep Purple, and Led Zeppelin. Of course, you see, they weren't Bill Haley in the Comets, but then again, you see Bill Haley in the Comets caused riots in theatres when they first came out. So it's always been pretty much the same sort of thing, hasn't it? Always been the same sort of thing. I dare say in Roman times it was the same. You can imagine that, can't you? Because I think back in history, and you think about some other situations in history, and you think of something like Attila the Hun, who rampaged across Europe, putting people to the sword, causing general mayhem wherever he went. Now, can you imagine, because I should imagine he did have daughters, can you imagine being the young fella that rocked up to his tent and said, I've come to call on your daughter? I don't think that would have lasted very long, do you? No, I don't. I don't at all. I think Attila the Hun might have had something to say about that. I expect that chap's head was sent back in the basket, don't you? I know. You got... oh, dear. I can't imagine what that would have been. Anyway, there we go. Now, this is coming on nicely, isn't it? What about putting a slightly different colour on this hat? Give it a bit of a... there we go. That's a better green. That was a bit dull, wasn't it, that other green? Not that I like to speak ill of any colour, but we'll have a bit of this here. And you can use the shades of these pencils to give your hats and your coats and what have you a bit of texture, a bit of and help with the shaping. Because really, all you've got to do is look. If you want to work out where light and shade and shadow appear, then you just really look. And it's everywhere. It's like you see an eye. It could be a plain black eye. But eyes are shiny and reflect the light. So invariably, if the light reflects off it, you will get a pattern or a dot of light. And it's surprising, you put that little dot onto that black eye, and it can make that whole eye spring to life. And we love that. We really do. And I do a lot of paint portraits of animals for people. I would say it's probably my main source of income, actually. Well, it was until the lockdown. Has to be said, things have slowed up slightly now, it has to be said, for obvious reasons, but we hope all this doesn't go on too long, because we like immortalizing people's pets. That's always fascinating to try and capture the likeness. There we are. That's looking something like it, isn't it? Don't you think? He's looking like a quite happy. Well, he's looking like a very, very posh fellow. Now, of course, we better do these trousers, I think, before we do anything else. Now, I think we're going to use that darker shade of green if we can find it, which I can't now. Oh dear, I don't think that's it. What's this one? Oh no, that's not it, is it? Oh no, I don't think we better use that. We can use it to highlight a few things now we've started. Oh well, I don't know, perhaps we will. Perhaps we'll have a multicoloured green outfit. Because now I see they make fun of people that wear double denim and triple denim. In my day, that was very cool. Look, that was. I've actually still got several denim shirts and jeans, but sadly, the waistline's got a bit bigger, so they don't actually fit. Which I suppose actually is an incentive, isn't it? To get on the old scales. Because I see people are having trouble now with this lockdown thing, because one of the first things people tend to do is eat. Comfort eat, I think they call it. I've done a bit of that in my timeline. Done a bit of that. Of course, nowadays as well, you've got home deliveries, can't you? So you can sit in your house, on your sofa, with your computer, and order all sorts of goodies. I know I've done it. Oh yes, I've done it. I've been one of those people that have done that. Now, I don't know where that other green has gone. It seems to have vanished off the face of the earth, which is a bit annoying. Is that it? No, that's not it. Sorry, I'm talking to myself. Ah, that might be it. I don't know. No, that's certainly not it. Oh well, we don't know where it is. No, you can't see that, which is a shame. Ah, there we go. I think that might be it. Ah, here we go. Now we got it. Now we're back in business. Now we're back in business. See, there we go. Now we can go over the top of that, because like I said, these will blend to some degree. And if you want to blend it a bit more, you can just add a bit of water to it. But, which I would advise against personally. If you're going to use watercolour paints. I've got several sets of them. There we are. And I'm not too sure about this bright limey type green here. Might have to darken that a bit. And I've got to keep an eye on the old clock here, because we're running out of time again. Don't quite know where the time goes, really. I suppose it's me. I waffle on a bit, don't I? So anyway, there we are. Now they're going to put this little bit of green in the hoops on his little stocking things. But I think we're going to keep the rest pretty much the same. Oh dear, sorry about that. Me little pad is slipping. Now we're gonna give him some brown on the shoes, I think. There we go. That looks good, doesn't it? It's almost like a golden colour. Was that about Usain Bolt's running shoes, wasn't it? He had gold running shoes. Mind you, he could run, you know. Yeah, no, so, oh, yes, he could run. Yeah, like the wind. Well, like a lightning bolt, as he used to sort of portray himself. There we are. Now that's looking alright, isn't it? I don't know. I mean, I would obviously spend a lot more time on this guy. A lot more time. And of course, what I would probably do is we could do his little crock of gold here, couldn't we? So he's got his little pot of gold, and it's a crock of gold like that. It's like a little pot. I mean, depending on how wealthy they are, I suppose, and how much gold they've got. I think you've got to be a little bit careful around these fellas, especially if you've got gold fillings. So if we put the effect of some coins in here, all stashed up like so. There we are. That's his little crock of gold. And maybe one or two have spilt out on the floor where he's standing, like so. And another thing that you could do very quickly is, if you wanted to, I know, shut up, get on with it. God. Waffle on, don't I? Because I know people do these videos on here, don't say a thing. But I can't do that. Oh. No, you want to hear my dulcet tones, don't you? And my incredibly insightful views on the world. That's what it's all about, isn't it? I would have thought so. I mean, of course, if you don't, and you've probably already done it, and I probably shouldn't even suggest it is, but you can turn the sound down, of course. You can think, I don't want to hear that bloke waffling on there. Now, what we could do for fun, you could have a little pig, because this is something as well, this is stereotypical of when people draw leprechauns and Irish folk. They're invariably carrying a little pig. Now, I don't know why that is, because I've known lots of Irish people over the years, and if I'm absolutely honest with you, I don't actually know anyone that even owned a pig, let alone carried one around with them. Ridiculous. There we are. Then he gives his little round fat body. Now, his top part of his head come up like so. And of course he's in the background, and his little piggy eyes, like so. And the ears just come up like that, don't they? And there you are. There's your little pig. We give him a few tufts on his head, maybe one or two, just to give him some. So I'm going to take that bit of grass out from there so we can see him a bit better. There we go. So there's your little piglet as well. Now, of course, we can quickly give him a bit of colour, which will be predominantly pink, because this is I think this particular breed of pig is called a giant white. Now, I can tell you a story about that now. I used to work in a music shop, and we used to sell electronic keyboards. It was in the late 70s, early 80s, when there was a big boom, and everybody was going to get a home organ keyboard. And I used to work in a music shop. I mean, we sold drums and guitars and things like that as well. But the main source of income for the shop were these home organs. I mean, if I'm absolutely honest, they're pretty dreadful things. Well, I think they are anyway. But I have to be honest, I like the sound of a church organ when it's playing classical music. Something like Toccata and Fugue. I don't think you can go far wrong with that. No, don't worry, I'm not going to start humming it. I used to have a friend that could play it very well. Very well. And he did a rock version of it, you know. And of course, some of these big keyboards, I mean, they were about £3,000. And they had everything on them. Drums, bass guitars and rhythms, all sorts of things. And when he was in full flight on this thing, sounded quite marvellous. A chap called Gary Force. I know some of the people that might watch this will know him. He's a very talented chap. There we are, there's the pig. There we are, there's the pig. Now we're going to quickly put some yellow on for this goad. So we got the coins sorted out, and then I think that'll be about this picture done. And what I should do, I should keep posting these until you confess. So it's no good. You're going to have to tell me the truth, or I'm going to keep posting. Only joking. I hope you enjoy them. I don't know if you do. I enjoy doing them, I got to be honest with you. So in my book, that's enough of a reason to carry on, really. I mean, it's nice to think that somebody might look at them, but... And like I said, they're not really lessons, because I'm not a teacher. I mean, I can tell you shortcuts that I've discovered over the years. I'm looking at other pictures, but I mean, most of it is, like I say, looking at other people's work and see what they do and how they master something. Because what you have to understand, whether it's art, music, or whatever, Jimi Hendrix, Eric Clapton, Carlos Santana, all these people, at one point in their life, couldn't do what they do. Carlos couldn't play the guitar. At one point in his life, he could not play the guitar. Now, the man's a genius. One of my favourite guitarists of all time. Same with Hendrix. At one point in their lives, they couldn't play. Anyway, but practice makes, you know, you can get things sorted out, a bit of practice. And the secret is don't give up. Okie dokie. There he is in all his glory. I'll push him back up so you can see him in full. There you go. One leprechaun. Okay, catch you later.